Okay, Pradeep ji, now you can start.
Sir, good afternoon, everyone. Principal AD, sir, with your kind permission, we shall begin today's webinar. The Director General of Taxpayer Services, Mumbai, welcomes all the officers of today's webinar on the topic refund claims under GST. It's my privilege to welcome our Principal ADG of DGTS, Mumbai Zonal Unit, Shri Sanjay Rathi, who is an IRS officer of the 1991 batch. Sir, I request you to please deliver the welcome address. Sir.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I hope I am audible.
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. Your video is not on, sir. You are audible, sir.
Distinguished members of the trade, has anybody from the AAMA joined us?
No, sir. At the moment, no. You will be joining in 1 or 2 minutes.
And what about MMA?
The same position with them also, sir.
Anyway, in their anticipation, I shall still welcome them. Shri Umesh Teade, Chairman of the Additional Ambarnath Manufacturers Association, and Shri Sambhaji Pathare, President of the Mahad Manufacturers Association, that is MMA. Dear colleagues and all the participants, I stand privileged and honored to extend a warm welcome to this webinar to all of you. I intensely appreciate and support the cooperation extended by the Additional Ambarnath Manufacturers Association and Mahad Manufacturers Association. These associations have played a very vital role in accelerating the growth of industries in India, accelerated genuine grievances at appropriate level, enabling the government to address and redress the problems in the right perspective. The role of these associations in stimulating, shaping, and scaling up Indian economy is without dispute. I would like to mention that the Director General of Taxpayer Services, that is the DGTS, is set up at New Delhi with 6 zonal units. The Mumbai Zonal Unit caters to the whole of state of Maharashtra and Goa. The Directorate is set up with a mandate to reach out to the taxpayers to create awareness about the changes in law, rules, and procedures, and clarify the doubts arising in following these new procedures. It is the constant endeavor of the DGTS to bring in current and relevant topics to the trade and taxpayers, thereby facilitating the trade and enriching the knowledge, enabling the trade to become aware of the changes in procedures, which in turn enhances the tax compliance. Several need-based webinars have been conducted in the past by this Mumbai Zonal Unit by taking inputs from the trade and taxpayers themselves. And today's webinar is on one such important topic, that is refund claims under GST. Timely refund mechanism is essential to fine running of tax administration, as it facilitates trade to release of block funds for working capital, expansion, and modernization of existing business. The provisions pertaining to refund contained in the GST law aim to streamline and standardize the refund procedures under GST regime. Thus, under the GST regime, there is under the GST regime, there is a standardized form for making any claim for refunds. The claim and sanctioning procedure are completely online and time bound, which is a marked departure from the erstwhile time consuming and cumbersome procedure. A comprehensive presentation will be made in this regard by Shri V. Venkateswaran, retired Assistant Commissioner CBIC. Shri Venkateswaran is conversant in excise, customs, and service tax and GST law, and has trained many officers of the center and state government in understanding GST law and software through sessions conducted at our NASIN, that is our training academy, at many places in the country. He has experience of 35 years of service in Central Revenue Department, holding various positions at various places. He has wide knowledge of the topic. This session will certainly be fruitful to everyone. I request all these participants to please make the best use of this session. With these words, I once again welcome you all to this webinar. Over to you, Pradeep.
Pradeep, sir.
There, Pradeep. So, sir, our trade panelist, Mr. Sambhaji, has also joined. So, sir, may please say few words for Sambhaji to welcome him. So, he
I hereby welcome Shri Sambhaji Pathare, who is the president of the Mahad Manufacturers Association, MMA.
Good afternoon, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. Now over to you, Pradeep. You can go ahead and start the webinar.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for your inspirational address, sir. Today we also have trade representations who will enlighten us with their concerns and experiences with respect to issues taken up for today's discussion, that is refund claims under GST. The two trade panelists today are supposed to be Mr. Umesh Tande, Chairman of Additional Ambernath Manufacturers Association, who found some problem with his system and he could not join till now. But Shri Sambhaji Pathare has joined us. He is President of Mahad Manufacturing Association, and I would like him to request Shri Sambhaji Pathare to address the participants and please share his views on this particular topic, please. Shri Sambhaji Pathare.
Good afternoon to all, and I think this is a very good opportunity for all the users, beneficiaries to take advantage of this webinar. And we all know that before this GST, there were so many procedures and documents to be maintained by the industries. And now this GST has made very simple actually procedures to follow. And now we know that VAT earlier that time so many documents were required to be maintained. But now due to the change of this policy, we have to be very simple procedure to follow. And definitely I think this webinar will help us to take the benefit of the refund claims. And we know very well that if we maintain proper documents and file quarterly return, this GST will be very much useful for our industries, and the efficient utilization of GST refund claims ensures a smoother financial operations for industries and fostering an environment conducive to the economic development. Cash flow optimization. GST refund claims enable industries to optimize their cash flow by recovering taxes paid on input goods and services. This liquidity injection proves critical for business, especially during challenging economic times, and allowing them reinvest in operations, technology, and workforce development. So I think all the industries, businesses can take benefit of this webinar, and whatever queries are there, they can discuss and take benefit of this webinar. I am again welcome our Assistant Commissioner and all the officers and industries, and please continue the discussion and take benefit of this webinar. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, Sambhaji. And as our other panel member, Shri Umesh Tande could not have joined till now. Meanwhile, whenever he will be able to join, we will ask him to share his views on the topic. And now it's time to get enlightened on today's topic, refund claims under GST. So before going into all the important topics, I would like to introduce our speaker for today's webinar, Shri B. Venkateswaran, Assistant Commissioner Retired, CBIC. Shri Venkateswaran is an MBA in Finance and also holds a PG Diploma in Computer Software. He has long experience of 35 years of service in Central Revenue Department, holding various positions at various places, and he retired as Assistant Commissioner in January 2018. He is conversant in excise, customs, service tax and GST law, and has trained many officers of central and state government in understanding GST law and software through sessions conducted at Nasim, Chennai, New Delhi, Mumbai, Kolkata, Kochi, Ahmedabad, Kanpur, Hyderabad, Bhubaneswar. RTI of Government of Shri V. Venkateswaran is a regular contributor of articles on GST on various magazines and taxation web portal, and also a panel speaker for electronic media on GST. I request Shri V. Venkateswaran sir to begin his presentation, and I also request him to please have an eye on the question and answer that will come on the title screen of our webinar. So whenever he finds that few of the questions can be entertained, means during the course also, we can take up those questions. Otherwise, the rest of the questions we can take at the end of the session. So, Sri Venkateshwaran sir, please.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Very warm welcome to everybody. Respected ADG, DGTS Mumbai Zone, and additional commissioners and other officers of the DGTS Mumbai Zone, and chairpersons of the Industries Association and other participants. I'm really happy that there was about 134 participants are right now there. Definitely the refund on account of in GST scenario is definitely made very simple. It has crossed more than 5 years of these things, and still some of what I find from my experience for the past 1.5 years or 5 years, still people are finding very difficult in filing the refund, and they unnecessarily blame that the department is unnecessarily held up. But actually the issue is, if you understand the whatever the legal provisions and the documents required and the time frame about the GST refund, we will be getting the refund very shortly without any hitches, and that is a very benefit. In fact, I want to say today, in the other you are having a couple of days to go to get your refund on account of from April 2020, because the Supreme has given, court has given an extension of time, that also I tell. But shortly we are having only 2 more days. We can speed up your refund process and online filing only. You can file today and tomorrow, and 28th is the last date. For those who are missed the bus for the refund claim for the 2020 onwards, April 2020 onwards to the February 2022, we are having another 3 more days available. So please make use of this session to at least to file some of the refund claim for that period. With this introduction, let me go to the session. The session may be we will be trying to give whatever the answers possible, whatever the queries raised during the scenario, or we will take all the queries at the end of the session, so that it's easy for everybody instead of interfering initially or in between. I can handle all the questions at the end of the session. So please kindly permit me to share my window, sir. You given? Okay. I'm sharing my window. Just check up everybody is able to see the screen.
It has started.
Yes, I'm starting the session. Please check whether you are able to see the screen. Hello?
The visual is not started, sir. The screen is stating that it is, now it has started.
Yes. Now it is started. Thank you very much. Thank you. I am very happy that there is at least in the initial interruption is not there. And I think everybody is able to watch the first screen, Refund Claims under GST webinar, co-hosted by Additional Ambernath Manufacturers Association and Mahat Manufacturers Association. So thank you very much for the industry giving this opportunity. And let me go ahead, sir. So disclaimer, the view expressed in this PowerPoint. So
Go ahead, please.
And the presentation is only for the educational purpose and awareness for the trade and industry. If you want any legal provisions, kindly go through the legal provisions available in the GST Act and rules made there and there. There they have given the elaborately required for the legal interpretation required for even these things. And next is also these provisions are whatever we have mentioned. Mostly I have mentioned it is only CGST and SGST Act, but I am not specifically stating. But since both the laws same, you can find your Maharashtra GST Act and the GST Central GST Act is similar. So you can read these provisions for your easy understanding of the legal provisions whenever you are handling with the Maharashtra GST or your Central GST. So please regret me if there is an internet problem. You know very well we are having a remote places. At times here also there may be a power may go on, that is go off. In that scenario I have given a backup of my generator also ready and other provisions also ready, but still it will take a couple of seconds or minutes to reconnect. So in that it happens. Please kindly regret for the inconvenience caused for you on account of the continuous or seamless presentations. This is the only request I am making you, sir. And today's subject we are having refund legal provisions and other compliance and circulars issued by the Central Board of Excise and Indirect Taxation, and also we are having advisory issued by the DG system. Since we are using the we are using the that is a information technology enabled services. So it will be this DG system, which is the backbone for this implementation of this particular electronic environment, is also giving regular advisory how best you can handle the back end or front end. And apart from that, you are having a GST and also GST and also used very frequently. That also you can look at that. Then I will be taking some specific refund on account of zero rated, because we are having around 11 types of refund. Each and everything requires a specific subject. It has to be handled at least 2 hours for each and every subject. So we are giving only overview so that we will be enabling you to understand that you can go. Then online filing and processing by the department and the assessees. And finally, I will take the question and answer. So part 1, understanding legal provisions, circulars, and part 2, online filing of various refunds, and we'll also give you some tips how to make your refund process faster. Then processing by the department or officers, you can understand. So legal provisions, we can say the Central Act 2017 Chapter 9, Chapter 11 and Section 54 gives you complete act requirement for filing the refund claim and sanction thereof. So it consisting of few sections, subsections. These subsections are elaborately discussing which is required, whether who is a person eligible, what is the documents required, and what is the process from filing to sanction of a refund, and mode of payment for the refund to the person claiming the refund. All these things I am not elaborating. These are the impulse. Since you want to file your refund claim, you ought to know there are 2 acts. One is called your GST and Maharashtra GST. In that, particularly we are concentrating only on Section 54. That is more important for anybody to understand how much I'm going to get my refund, whether I'm eligible or not. All these things are, and what is all other information required for refund is available in Section 54. And Section 54, subsection 10 to 12, withholding of refund claim had taken place when there is a refund is unintentionally claimed or by suppressing certain facts. So there is a provisions also for that. Then refund paid by the casual registered person. Suppose you are doing any casual registration person by going to the trade fair where you will be selling your goods, and by the time you want to pay your taxes advance, then you can claim the refund. That there is a specific provision is available. And the subsection 14 gives the general conditions and explanation required for the refund claim. These are the major provisions governing refund under Section 54. And if you want to go for under Section 64, it is an act, it gives empowers the sanctioning of refund. And what is the legal, that is your procedural requirements which reference to your refund claim, that is enumerated in rule number 89 of CGST rules 2017 or Maharashtra GST rules rule 89. So this also we are having a very minimum number of sub rules. Each sub rule defines a particular aspect that is a very much we need to understand this so that you can have your refund without much hanky panky. So here you can say 89(1) sub rule says procedure to file and person who is filed the refund claim. Then 89(2) says document evidences for claiming each type of refund claim. Then you know very well in the refund claim scenario in GST, the amount has to be debited from the electronic ledger for the refund amount you are claiming in your application. So there is a specific provision. Earlier there was no such provision. Now if you are needing any refund on account of unutilized credit, you have to debit the refund amount required, then only your amount will be sanctioned. So if it is a sufficient balance, is also required to be looked into that before filing your refund claims. 89(4), that is also very interesting. It has a 89(4), sub rule 4, 4A, 4B, and 5. This gives the formula for calculation for the quantum of eligible refund for various type of refunds. I said there are empty numbers of refund types available that we will going to see later. So each and every refund claim has a different formula. The different formula decides how much quantum I am entitled to get a refund from the department on account of my nature of supply, whether it is export or user supply or inverted tax supply. Different types are there. So here the formula prescribes the quantification for the quantum of eligible refund. So why I am saying all these things, you are going to come across, you already came across these situations also. It may be in appeal or some other area. If still you can renew your knowledge on account of this, then you can find it is very easy to get your refund claim. without any receiving any deficiency memos from the department. Then these are the other provisions relating to your refund. So the first is rule 90 says acknowledgement. Once you file your refund, if all the documents provided by you is correct, then your refund is acknowledged within 15 days of time. So it is the first step towards your refund. Then if you are an exporter, there will be a possibility you are getting your grant of provisional refund. So that means up to 90% of your refund claim will be sanctioned provisional basis. Then after that, we are going to get an order for sanctioning after due verification of the documents you submitted, the documents available to the department, in the information available to the department, decide whether you are entitled or not entitled to the refund. And at times it may also possible during the scrutiny of the refund, a part of the amount can be also rejected. That is called partial rejections. And the partial rejection, you can get a recredit based on your credit or the amount for reject amount under Rule 93. Because you are earlier debited more amount, if the more amount is debited and there is some error in calculation, the department restricts that certain these things on quantification, not on legal provisions. If it is a quantification, you can get the credit of the amount rejected for the refund claim and you can use it for the domestic purpose, and you have to ensure you are not filing an appeal against the earlier refund order. And refund of tax in certain persons, that is we are not, today's session is not for that. Then order for sanction, this interest, it is a delayed payment that does not happen in many of the cases. Then refund integrated paid on service export order, there is a specific requirement, they say, which are the requirement, it is on payment of IGST. Here it is a different. In the case of goods, when it is on payment of goods, IGST, the refund is sanctioned by the customs designated authorities by the designated ports through which you are exported your goods. But in the case of refund on account of service on payment of IGST, it is still sanctioned by your local official, that is your jurisdictional assistant commissioner or circle officer, whoever it may be. And here then there is a provision for the letter of undertaking is given. So because when you are removing the goods under bond or LUT, you are not paying to pay the IGST, then you are giving a undertaking for the government how you are going to handle if you are not receiving any amount or if you are not properly handling the export documents. So consumer welfare, and whenever there is a need, the sanction will be possible, but it may not be possible to pass on because of the inbuilt mechanism we are called unjust enrichment. In that scenario, they conceive that the refund sanction will be credited to the consumer welfare fund and the ultimate consumer may be the beneficiary. For that, we are also enabled a provision for the claiming the even unregistered person as a refund, that is also possible. Then manual filing for a stopgap arrangement in earlier 2017 to 2019 November, the department do not want to withhold the refund on account of the non-availability of electronic environment. So what they did is they have permitted the exporters and others to file manual filing. Still we are having it. Suppose any technical features happen, this provision will be make use for the filing of a refund claim. So the department has prescribed their certain specified forms. The forms RFD 01 is application, RFD 2 is your acknowledgement, and RFD 03 is deficiency memo. In the case of deficiency memo, you have to understand if you are not filed the relevant document as required by their rules and section and as well as the circulars issued by the CBIC, every chance of getting a deficiency memo. Once you get a deficiency memo, you have to file a fresh application. You have to understand, and whatever the amount you earlier debited will be recredited. Then 4 is a provisional order. Then 05, if it is issued, the payment advice is sent to the EGUBER or the PAO section, PAO, to release the fund for your refund application. Then refund sanction order is RFD 06 or rejection order. It is a speaking order. Then there is a notice issued. They can issue under the RFD 8. They may be reject or partial the requirement for the rejection. In this scenario, RFD 8 is issued. Then your reply has to be furnished in online in RFD 09. So these are the, then PMT 03 is one of the form for the recredit of the rejected amount. So you are expected to know some of these forms. This is since GST is a one tax, one nation. Almost all the procedures for each and everybody is also made by way of these standardized forms for each and everybody, both the state government officer, central government officer, and the trade also. Then some of the definite understanding of law and also definite understanding of circulars also required. CBIC, after the enactment, that is after the introduction of the, we can say, electronic environment, one circular is issued under 125 2019, 1811-2019. This I can call it as a master circular for the electronic environment, sanctioned the refund claim. Then in this document, various refund claims procedures has been prescribed, and it has an annexer which clearly says which is the document has to be uploaded. That means inbuilt in the application itself, and the additional document you have to upload in the PDF format, which has to be filed, has been categorically mentioned each and everything. And based on the time and modification of the legal provision, this circular also underwent some of the changes which is required for the present scenario of the legal provisions. There we can say on circular 135, 139, 147, 162, 166. These are the some of the important circular, and there are some more circular 173 and 181 and 188. These are the application. I told you even the consumer can pay this. For that we are having a 188. That is a circular, and the latest circular also it says now, because there are some of the information as required. Earlier the refund claim on account of unutilized credit was sanctioned based on the GST 2A. Subsequently, from 1/1/2022 onwards, we are having the GST 2B is becoming a mandatory, and now it is becoming a mandatory that whenever a person has uploaded the document which is reflected in the 2B, only possible for the consideration for the net ITC. There also we have to understand, earlier the 2A they told, if the 2A is available, then if you subsequently filed, you can take the credit. Now it is not the question. The 2A, that means the documents either should have been reflected in the earlier period or in the current your refund period. If it is subsequently filed, if you are GST, you are having annexer B, which indicates which are the invoices you want to claim refund. This annexer B document should be definitely available in the refund claim period. If it is no sir, I received the goods, he has not uploaded, I am going to get subsequently, means unfortunately as per circulars, you are not entitled for the refund to the extent of the invoices which are reflected subsequent to the filing of your refund claim. So please kindly take note of this. Based on this, you can foresee whether you are going to file the refund claim for the current month or the subsequent month. So that is very much required. If the person is not at all paying, you will be the loser. So whenever you are making the export on account of ITC claiming, please ensure your supplier also files the GSTR 1 and GSTR 3B correctly before the due dates. Then advisories, some of the advisories given by the CBIC chief controller of our, I told as the ultimately the refund is advisory sent to the PO, then PO releases the fund. So there you are expected to advisory issued by the Principal Chief Commissioner, advisory issued by the DG systems on online refund processing, then advisory issued on account of the PMT03 system, and issued latest issue, one of the issue is withdrawal of the refund claim. If you wrongly file a refund claim, before sanctioning or before accepting by the department, you can withdraw that application. That is the easiest method, so that you can resubmit your refund claim without any legal provisions immediately coming into the picture. So factors governing refund. So if you want to file a refund claim, you should expect to know a minimum these 5 factors. Who is the person eligible? Then what is the ground I am applying my refund claim? Then what is the time limit for my refund claim? Then what is the quantity of refund claim, refund amount I am entitled? And what are the documents I have to submit to the department to ensure my refund claim is not rejected? Then finally, I have to also understand whether by filing this application, I am hit by enrichment. So these things we will see it in the following screens. The person eligible, I said the act itself says who are the persons. Any person paid tax, any interest at any other amount is definitely. Then taxpayer and inward supplies of the goods by a specified agencies like UNO organization and multilateral financial institutions and any other organizations. Earlier they are enjoyed the exemptions, now they are not getting the exemptions. they have to first make the payment and reclaim or the refund. These are the specialized categories. And finally, we are having every registered person can claim refund balance in the electronic register ledger, which means you can have deposited the amount, but unfortunately you may not be having, need not have that much cash in the cash ledger. You can withdraw that amount at any point of time. It is as good you are withdrawing your money from the deposit you made to the government account, like your ordinary bank account. Then there are three claims possible. Zero rate supply without payment of tax. You are eligible to claim refund on account of the unutilized ITC. Then credits has accumulated on account of the higher rate, that is called the inverted tax. These are the things. Other things we can say, these are the registered persons entitled, and any other person I said paid tax, interest or penalty. So that is universal for each and everybody, because sometimes the co-offenders pay penalty also. There they are at the appellate level, they will be getting the benefit on account of the penalty. So initial payment they paid on account of the penalty will be reimbursed, that is refunded to any person. That is also possible. Then grounds for the refund, that is an important thing we are having. The supply of goods, that is one. Then refund of unutilized credit on account of zero rated supply made to goods and services. Goods means physical export and services. And refund claim item, inverted tax structure, where the tax structure is input is more and final product is less. You are entitled to get your refund claim on account of the accumulation taking place. Then export of services on payment of IGST, that and refund of unutilized on the SEZ supply. You are also entitled to get refund when you are supplying to the SEZ, and refund on account of the deemed export. This is one of the interesting things. Here we are having a 4 type of deemed exports is possible. One is you supply to the UOU, then next is called your supply on account of the invalidated EPGC scheme, and also invalidated advance authorization for the procurement of raw material, and EPGC for the capital goods, and also gold supplied by the designated authorities. These are called as a deemed export benefit. There is a possibility either the supplier or receiver can get the refund amount already, refund of tax paid. If it is a supplier, he has to get the disclaimer certificate from your receiver. And the same is the case for the receiver, and they have to provide a certain document so that they will be eligible to claim the refund. Grounds for refund, it told balance on account of the cash ledger, refund paid on the interstate supply subsequently held as a state supply, vice versa. Suppose you are paid some amount as IGST, and the department officers during the scrutiny, audit or inspection say your supply as per the provisions of IGST Act is considered as the intrastate supply, not interstate supply. So your payment of IGST is wrong. You have to expect it to pay CGST and Maharashtra CGST. In that scenario, you have to pay the amount first for the CGST and SGST, and you can claim the refund of the IGST already paid. The beneficial here is you need not pay interest for the error committed. So that is vice versa possible. Then refund on account of excess payment, that is also possible. You might have paid the excess amount on account of the advance cancellation. You will be paying taxes on advances, and subsequently the person who would have been cancelled the programs. So you will be having, you already paid the tax, then you will be liable to receive the amount already paid. So there also it is a excess payment. Otherwise your rate of tax is 5%. Unfortunately, you made it is a 12%. Then you can claim the refund for the excess payment. And we are having omnibus entry, any other grounds. So here also there is possible, if any of the above said grounds is not possible, you can still file a refund claim if you are entitled under the category any other ground, stating what is the document and everything. After due verification of your documents submitted and the exhaustive verification required, if it is, then after that the refund will be sanctioned depending upon the eligibility or other conditions. Then filing of refund on account of the assessment and provisional, there is another. Then appeal, regularly we are filing. When you go for appellate, these things, you will be finding e-waybill issues where the local officer or the enforcement officer levies 200% penalty for the release of goods. But however, when you go for the appellate, first appellate authority or high court, they will find it is a genuine case, there is a no evasion angle is available. So the quantum of penalty can be reduced. So they will reduce. In that scenario, you are like to pay. You will like to get refund on account of the appeal benefits. Then time limit. This is the most important factor though I am eligible, though I am having each and every parameter is perfectly for me. Unfortunately, if I am not filing it within 2 years of time, very sorry, sir, there is no provision to sanction beyond that time limit. Until otherwise, there is a contingency situation arises that is approved by the GST Council or approved by the your GST Council, and it is enabled or accepted by the state and center, that recommendation. So here, otherwise, as per the legal provisions of explanation 2 to section 54, the relevant date is different for different scenario, but the period is 2 years only. Here we can find what is the relevant dates. Export through air, then they say it is an EGM. The date of EGM is from 2 years from the date of EGM. Export of goods through land, when you are sending to Bhutan or you are sending to Nepal, then you are sending to Bangladesh or these things, whenever it is goes through the land frontiers, then it is when it crosses the land frontier. Then if it is a post, date of dispatch from the post office. When supply of the services, date of receipt, and where supply is performed after receipt invoice, the date of invoices. Then inverted tax structure, date shall be the date of filing of the return. Then extension of time. I said earlier in the beginning of the session, there you are having another 3 days to file your refund claim for the earlier period, even though it is time bound. So here, by notification number 13 of 2022, the government has excluded the period from 1st March to 28th February 22 for calculating the 2-year period. So if your period falls in this period can be excluded, which means 2 years can be excluded for you. So in your above, taxpayers can claim the refund for the period 2020, but now another 3 days is available because 2029-20 date is already over. Now 21-22, the last date is, you can have these things 20 this year, this month you can have, that is another 2 days you can have. Then sub rule 4, that is a quantum. The quantum we are having a 2 sub rules, sub rule 4 and sub rule 5, and sub rule 4 we are having one sub rule 4A and 4B depending on other situations. So according to these rules, the following data must be determined or required to understand your legal requirement quantum of that refund. One is called your turnover and another is called your aggregate turnover and net ITC. In the turnover, we are having the zero rated turnover or introverted taxes turnover for the purpose of finding it is the denominator, and numerator will be your aggregate turnover. There they have the definition has been already given, and wherever it is also some explanation also added to the legal provision, that is section 89, to consider in the case of zero rated supply. The aggregate turnover is not as per section 2F, but it is as per the explanation available on the particular rule. Net ITC, they say, depends upon your type of refund. If it is a type of refund is on account of export, you are eligible on these things. We can see in the later screens also. You are entitled to both inputs and services, but not on capital goods. So these are some of the intricacies you require to understand when you are filing your refund claim. Then eligible refund claim is based on the credit. The net credit differs depending upon the type. I said zero rated supply is different, inverted tax supply is different. Required, by and large, it is now well settled. I said the Master Circular 125 of 2019, the annexer it gives which are the documents required, which is going to be appended in the available in the inbuilt application, and which are the documents subsequently you have to upload it. But however, I also advise some of my advise the taxpayers, please understand the rules are changing daily, and depending upon your GST council meeting. So whenever there is an officer also, in order to make your refund claim process faster, understand the legal provision updated recently, and if there is a requirement of documents, even though it is not prescribed 125, you can at the liberty to file a document based on your certificates, so that your refund process will be much faster. So that is any other document required by the officer. You can also foresee this document may be required by the officer. For example, I will say, if you are filing a refund claim for 1 year before some of the exports have taken, definitely the law expects BR60 have been filed within 9 months, but you are 12 months. But there is a provision in this. They say the document says you are not expected to file BRC, but it says BRC indications. So you can indicate the BRC, or BRC document also can be attached. And so that what happens, the officer will understand, yes, the proceeds received. Otherwise, he will write one more letter asking whether the export proceeds are received as per the provisions of such and such act. Why you are not rejected to the tune of non-production of the document. So in order to avoid that, better you can file these documents also, whichever is essential. Even though it is not mentioned in the 125, you can still submit these documents to speed up your process. Then principles of unjust. This I told earlier. Whenever there is a principles of unjustice there, then what is expected is you have to give a certificate that incidence of tax is not passed on to the consumer, which means the tax claimed as a refund should have been expenditure for you. In that scenario, there are cases where the refund is on account of inverted tax structure. You are expected to file a certificate, either self-declaration or a child account certificate, depending upon the refund amount claim. If it is a 2 lakhs, below 2 lakhs, you can give it. If it is a more than 2 lakhs, your statutory auditor or any auditor can certify, yes, this person has not passed on this, further a specific document has been prescribed under Rule 18.9. There you can find out document number. Rule 18.9 specifies which document has to be given, and the document is also made available in the form at RFD 01. In the last page you can find which are the annexed to required for the filing, in order to avoid the principles of unjust enrichment, to ensure that enrichment is not there. Then specific refund. So we have seen these are the very parameters required. Now let us see some of these. I am not going to, there are so many refunds. I will be take only very few. There I will explain quickly what is required for the taxpayer to get your refund at the quickest way. So zero rated supply, that is already defined. It is export of goods or supply to SEZ. So if you are in that scenario, you are going to get 4 types of refund. One is called your refund on account of goods, physical, and refund on account of supply to SEZ. In the same, you can have services, physical export, and services to SEZ. All these things, 4 types are considered as a zero rated supply. The refund of unutilized, here it is rules, it makes it very clear. So 3 of the section says within the subsection act that rules the recipient may claim refund of unutilized input credit in relation to zero rated supply. So export of goods, refund of supply on payment of unutilized, export of services on payment, or supply of goods or development on payment. Otherwise, we are also having unutilized ITC. So these are the possibilities you can do. So 3 categories on payment of IGST and 3 categories on account of the unutilized. So since these other things are handled, goods, it is handled by customs. I am not going to that. I am going to say only the release by the goods by the refund of unutilized ITC, which is more often filed before the jurisdictional officers. I think you are already filed. The process requirements, these are the mandatory requirements. LUT in RFD 11, export the goods without payment of IGST by, if depending upon your invoices, either you are the normal invoice or the class of person, means you have to raise a E invoice. Then file your GST 1 along with the details of export invoice in table number 6A or amendment wherever required 9A, indicating your GS, that is a port of exports. What I find during my experience for the past years, many of the persons still not able to understand. They are not at all updating this particular information subsequently. They feel it is the export of click is sufficient, but this information has to go to the customs portal to validation. So each and every time when you file a GSTR1, ensure whether that 6A table you have given under through which port it has goods have been left, under which shipping will it has been, and what is the date of shipping. These are the mandatory requirements in order to integrate your information of GSTN to IceGate, so that you will be having a complete seamless proof of export documents which can be fetched from your IceGate portal. Then you have to file your GSTR3B. It is also now it is auto-populated. You need not bother about these things. So you can also take this and you can file GSTR to be. Many people are also unable to understand what is zero rated, and they miss whether they are unfortunately they are also giving this information GSTR 3B in GSTR 3 table number 31A instead of 31B. So please ensure that all zero rated supplies has to come only in the 31B only. Then file your refund claim along with all supporting documents in the common portal GSTN 9. Then this refund you will be having immediately getting a ARN number, the proof of submission. Using that proof of submission, you can track whether your refund, where it is pending. What is the status you can note. Then after credit, once the order is verified, then your application is verified and it is a totality is fine, then you will be getting your refund claim either provisional or final, directly crediting to your bank account given in your GSTN portal. Please note it. The amount will be credited in the bank account you have already mentioned in the GSTN portal in your GSTR registration. Don't expect that it is go to some other area. If it is a wrong, before that ensure your bank account given in your GST is active and it is also activated from the validated by the system, that you will check up. Then quantum of here, the quantum of here is turnover of zero rated supply plus turnover of the zero rated supply of services into net ITC divided by adjusted turnover. Refund amount means maximum refund amount. Here the turnover of zero rated turnover has been told, that is a FOB value of the FOB value, not the invoice value. It is a FOB value as reflected in your shipping bill document. So this shipping bill document FOB value is used for both denominator and numerator. Earlier there is a doubt happened whether the invoice value has to be in the denominator and the numerator it will be the FOB value, but the government has given recently by circular clarified that for denominator and numerator, the zero rated supply value is FOB value as per the provisions of section 89, not as per the provision of section 2. And add it along with this, you have to add only the other supplies. Please note, exempted supply is not coming under the zero rated. Here it now comes under the adjusted turnover. There, if you are using any exempted supply before filing your net ITC, you are expected to reduce the common credit avail. So that is very much required. That's why they are not, since you are already debiting the common input avail on account of your common inputs exclusively or common, both since goes outside the purview of net ITC. The aggregate turnover has been taken as your domestic supply plus your export supplies. Net ITC, just I told, this is what I have told. In the case of GST on account of your export of goods under LUT or services, there the capital good input on account of capital is not permitted. You have to take your net ITC means input services and input goods only, not the capital goods. Please ensure that these things are only considered in your net ITC when you are putting this information in the portal. Document required online inbuilt, that is statement 3, rule 89.2b and rule 89.2c. It is nothing but there is a facilities available in the DSTN system. Offline tool is available. Download the offline tool, enter all these data, then convert the JSON file, upload. Once you upload, then validation will take in place at the time of generating JSON. Then after uploading JSON, once the validation is approved, then you are entitled to submit your other documents and you file. Otherwise, if it is not validated with the system available data, you will not able to file your refund. Please kindly note, the validation takes place on account of the information provided about the export in the GSTN portal. Then there is export details available in the IceGate. Maybe shortly it may also go to the RBA also for verification, because already IceGate is verifying RBA. So here it may not be coming. The XOI statement will be taken care of the foreign exchange realization. Then statement 3A is nothing but depending upon the input you have provided in the that is the boxes, text boxes in the form in the portal, it will automatically calculate what is the amount eligible it will be compare the two amounts. One is called your amount available on the date of, that is your refund period, and on the date of refund when you are filing. It will compare whichever is less will be given as a eligible refund. So if you are 0, then there is no meaning of continuing your refund claims. Please kindly note, if the closing balance becomes 0, you may not be getting any refund, even though entitled legally, theoretically, there is a possibility of refund claim, which means you used the refund, that is amount already for the domestic clearances. Supporting document additionally, copy of GSTR 2A and the statement of Annexure B. Annexure B, you have to include what is the type of inputs, whether it is a services or goods or capital goods. And again, you are given what is a HSN code number. So these things are required for the documents. Additional documents may be called by the department, or you can on your own, you can submit BRC, FIRC in the case of export of goods and shipping bills made through non-EDE ports, self-declaration regarding non-prosecution under Rule 91, self-declaration on the auditor certificate for 89(4)(c), self-declaration for the Rule 96(b), recovery of payment for the unutilized export where export proceeds are not received. So these are the other additional documents you may submit to speed up your refund process. And in the case of zero-rated supply of services, you know very well India is the one of the largest exporter of services. So here we are having a taxable service and also non-taxable services. They are having a BPO service mostly. So all these people are entitled for the supply, what are the tax paid earlier, because legally what we say, goods and services can be exported, not the taxes. That is a reason. So what is export of service? It is defined under section 2(6) of IGS. Services supplied from India is located, the recipient is outside India, then place of supply is outside India, then the payment of such is received in a convertible foreign exchange, not currency, because now Indian currency also convertible, because you know there is a special provision for this. That's also amendment was recently made in the GST rules and sections. So Indian rupee is also now available as a convertible currency. That is possible. So you can negotiate in Indian rupee, for which you do not want to have a exchange exposures or exchange deviation. You do not want hurt you. You can go for the invoicing under INR and get the INR also from the abroad based on the special provisions provided by the receipt of such information, receipt of that amount. Then service exports, zero rated. Here it says, unlike manufacturer, cannot get the GST, they have to only get it from the local officer, like as good as other. That is called the service exports on payment of taxes. Export of service of unutilized ITC. Here, some of the issues you have to note, the restriction is available in the capital goods. So you have to decide if you are a capital intensive oriented, then you can go for the on payment of IGST instead of using for the unutilized utilize the ITC, because capital goods is here outside the purview. Quantum of refund, service as declared in section. That means as per this provision, whatever the foreign exchange received during the relevant period, less advances received, the amount received for the previous. So in a particular refund period, the amount received will be considered, excluding the amount received for the services to be provided. Here what you have to understand is does not have the zero rated supply value does not as per the supply invoices, but rather it is based on the amount received on account of the inward remittances. So this is the distinction you have to understand. What is a zero rated supply? In some other case, it may be based on invoices, but in the case of services, it is based on the your FIRC received. That is very much important for a person who is receiving service exports on account of unutilized ITC. Then additional document BRC, FIRC, copy of GSTR 2A, but now the 2A also can be 2B, you can use better instead of 2A. It is not reflecting the properly 2B. Your refund is restricted to the extent of the 2B. So don't carried away by the word 2A right now. You can use 2B copy you can use, so that you can very well say all these documents are received and the particular person has uploaded. So statement 2 under 89C, that is, I told this is nothing but as per the system given a JSON file, then you can use utility. Then statement of invoices, annexure B, annexure is given in the 125 circular, then you can use. Additionally also amendment also made, you can make use of that. Then under sub rule 1, for availing provisional refund credit also, you can give one more certification. Then quantum of refund, I told the quantum is based on the zero rated supply of goods. That is, your zero rated supply is nothing but the amount received divided by total turnover. So turnover, I told aggregate payment received during the relevant period. So here my emphasis again and again is the aggregate payments received during the relevant period for the zero rated supply of service, and excluding the received advances, whichever you can receive the advances for which you are not provided any services. There you have to exclude that advance you can use it for the next period, it is possible. So you are not going to lose any amount, but you have to, regarding this, you have to decide how best I can use the receipt, whether it is for the advance or for the, there it will be show your purpose code will be revealed. So this is the quantum of it. Then zero rated supply, then all these things are not provided, that I explained. Adjusted turnover, I told, it is nothing but your other turnovers, add your zero to turnover, determined as per the provisions of this particular service, that is your rule 4. Sub rule 4 of 89. Document required, I told, all these documents are very much required. Then another important, or mainly we are using, is the inverted duty structure. Earlier we are here, you have to understand not each and every goods is refunded, only specified goods. Some of the goods, even though it attracts lower taxes like railway goods and some other, we can say oil, all these things are coming under the category of different between the rates, but still they are not qualified for the refund of inverted tax structure. That is it, that we have to understand. So here inverted tax structure, it is available as per provisions of section 54. And here exceptions are there. Output supply, nil rated supply or fully exempted goods will not qualify. Sir, my rate is 0, but I am purchasing for 18%. Is it not a inverted structure, sir? Yes, but unfortunately the legislator told the output supplies attract nil rate and fully exempted supply does not qualify for the refund. And supplies of goods and service as is notified by the government by notification number 5 of 2017 is not entitled for, even though they will be having, for example, railway. Now the railway problem, it was large extent, there was there railway, very many vendors are doing at the concession rate of taxes, and now the railway said they can come under the forward mechanism, and also the rate of duty also slightly increased to uniformly 12%. So whenever supplier claims IGST paid under IGST Act, that will not come. If the supplier avails drawback, then it is not comes under other conditions for the refund claims. Refund is not eligible for inverted railway locomotive, then self-propelled railways, railway tramways, and some other articles we can say, but I am not having the list because this is a time constraint. I do not want to go each and every steps. Determination rule 5. Here, after the VKC foods, that is one of the leading this thing, we are having the benefit. Earlier services is not coming under the scenario of the refund. Now the department has told even the service component can be included, but the input will be restricted only on the based on the input, not on the services, but that will be given the benefit by way of what would be your likely to the payable amount if I am considering service inputs also. That is the only modification. They say turnover of the retail supply goods into NTC adjusted turnover minus tax payable on such inverted tax structure and net ITC. So here this formula is with effect from 5/7/2022. This can be explained here. Earlier it is 30,000, others 40,000 inputs. So maximum refund available is only 5,54,843. New formula, then we are going to get a more amount. So ITC on inputs, we are going to find out what is the tax payable will be determined based on the ITC availed on account of inputs and on account of goods. Then they will decide what is the quantum of my amount of the payable on account of the inverted tax structure. So there you will be getting a refund element claiming the more amount. The documents required, statement under 1, rule 89 fee. That, as I said, it is an online application. Then 1A statement, that is also available. Then declarations and statements as per the 125. Declaration second and third provision of 54C. And this declaration under 54(3)C. There's undertaking also required under rule 16(2)(c) and section 42. These are the documents required to be uploaded to get the refund. Then supporting document additionally, we have to upload GSTR 2A, statement of invoices, self-certified copies that is not available, now it is modified, and self-declaration under 18(2) if the amount is less than 2 lakhs and the amount is more than 2 lakhs, we have to give auditor certificate. This is for the this is for the ensure there is a no unjust enrichment, because we sold in this type of these things, you would have been collected the amount from the buyer. So here they want to ensure you should not be unjust enrich is possible, that is possibility, so that they want to avoid. Then self-declaration regarding non-prosecution under section 19, this is also required for the provisional. Deemed export, we are having a 4 type of deemed export. I told both buyer and the seller can avail. The supplies to 100% EOU, EPGC, then advance authorization, supply of gold to the designated authorities. What is deemed here? The notification number says the goods supplied do not leave India. The payment for such currency is Indian rupee or convertible foreign exchange. Such goods are manufactured in India. This is a very important condition. Very many times I was asked to clarify whether I can import to India and I can keep that, I will supply to the SEZ or supply to the deemed exporter, and I can claim that as a, that they say it is not possible. If it is imported goods supplied to the EOU, you cannot get a deemed export benefit if it should be manufactured in India only. So there the benefit is given only the Make India, not for each and every import substitutes made at the cost of the Indian manufacturers. So deemed export, we are having, I told it is a notification number is 48 of 2017, which defines which are the deemed export for the purpose of section 147. So these are the supplies. I told this is 100% EOU, advance authorization, EPGC, and are supplied by gold by the bank authorities. Refund receipts. If it is a recipient, he has to claim the refund. The quantum of refund is refund paid on the supply. Documents replied on submission online to statement 5B under rule 18(2), declarations, undertaking, and additional documents. Documents required under notification of circular number 14/14/2017. They said they given a procedural formalities how to handle the supplies to deemed export supplier. Either you have to get a self-certified certificate from the receipt of the goods by the buyer, or you have to get a jurisdictional wherever, if it is 100% EOU, you have to get the certificate from the jurisdictional officer that the goods are received. These are the conditions there. They have to document record. That is the circular number 14 of 2017, depending on each and every scenario for the supplies. Then quantum of refund, that is called the supplier. If I am a supplier goods, he will say the marketing, sir, I do not want to pay and block my working capital by purchasing your goods, sir. Happens. So what will happen? So my marketing it will say, okay, sir, you need not pay. I will be take the refund. You will be happy with your working capital, sir, but give some documents so that I can claim the deemed export benefit, sir. Then okay. Then they can also, the law permits even the supplier of the exporter house, that is the goods also eligible. So there the quantum GST paid, documents 5B, and undertake declaration and undertaking, additional documents as per rule 49(7), then circular 14 of 14, then self declaration, and again for the non-passing of the incidence of tax to the buyer. I said earlier some of the circular with reference to this particular is 14 and 162. These are definitely important circular with reference to deemed export specifically. Other refund claims, excess balance, then excess payment of tax. I told the interstate supplies, there is an incorrect methodology. A refund on account of assessment, provisional assessment, absolutely no, and appeal in any other order. And refund, if it does not fit any other category, you can also get any other refund also possible. So documents required, the same thing it is mentioned in the each and every category, the same documents are required, sir. Withdrawal of application, suppose you find the application is wrongly filed, you can withdraw your refund application, you can resubmit. This recent provisions made available as per the request of the taxpayers. Online filing of zero rated, then it is only one I am taking, not taking for each and everything. Here, online filing of refund, declaration statement for the refund filing to be there. The documents uploaded by the TP, these are the two documents they have to take. Then validation by the system. These are the validation done by the system. The relevant period for the refund is verified. No refund is required. The TP has to file the relevant period nil for the earlier period. The system validates information uploaded based on the details already available in the GSTR1 and GSTR2 and also IceGate portals. Cannot be greater than the details uploaded in the GSTR3B. The adjusted turnover cannot be more than the zero rated turnover declared. The night ITC cannot be more than the ITC as per the 3B. Balance of ITC during the tax cuts and applied by the taxpayer. These are the validation by the system. So I want to file a refund claim. What are the checks I will do? Check for the grounds, reasons. Check for the all the necessary actions are available. Check for the documents. If yes, then you will get the acknowledgement from the department or deficiency memo from the deficient. If not, you will get the deficiency memo. This is the detailed scrutiny done by the department. Grounds for the appeal they will verify, time limit they verify, the turnover and adjusted turnover verify, they will verify the net ITC, dues if any recoverable verify, then after that unjust entrapment if any is verified, and after these verifications only your sanction will be made. So here each and every documents which is already available for the department will be verified to ensure that the refund goes to the right person. So these are the check whether the supply made as per the merchant scheme, supply made as the deemed export. These are the some conditions are there. Each and every condition has to be fulfilled. Check FOB value as per the shipping bill when you are uploading your document and claiming your refund claims. Speed of your refund claim. See, now Aadhaar status is very much important. You check for the Aadhaar status. If Aadhaar status is not successful, even though you are entitled for any refund, you cannot file any refund online. Similarly, the case your data will not be sent to the GSTN portal. Please understand. Go there, verify your Aadhaar status from your profile menu. If Aadhaar status is success, you can go ahead with filing your refund. Otherwise, first check up your make necessary corrections required for the Aadhaar status to be successful. Next, many people are not verifying the bank accounts. In the middle of the year, they change the bank account, does not modify these accounts in the GSTN portal. It is a non-core amendment. Please do the non-core amendment of the bank accounts. Then see that is also validated by the PO site. You can go to the PO verify site. Then you can find whether these things. File refund claim. Upload the mandatory document. Upload supporting documents. Please provide a covering letter for the officer to understand why you are claiming a refund, how you have calculated your refund. That will enable the officer to understand the issue very good. You may be filing a refund claim on account of services, but the officer may not be knowing whether the services are goods until he opens the document. So first you can give the covering letter means he can open the covering letter, understand for this particular purpose he is filing the refund, so he may be entitled. So I need not worry for something else. Okay, I can let me verify other documents. So that will be a good practice to see that your refund process is speed up. Then worksheet for the amount calculated. One of the areas I said in the earlier scheme, what the department checks. Put on your position in the shoes of the department officer. The same thing. When you understand the officer will be verifying all these things, you can provide these documents so that neither you nor the officer will be unnecessarily burdened with the compliance requirements. Other declarations, if required, also provide voluntarily. If it is prescribed or not prescribed, you understand. Then if it is necessary, you can provide the declarations also. Then Aadhaar verification. This is the Aadhaar mandatory from September 2021 and January 1, 2020 it is made mandatory. Then bank account validation. See, Aadhaar validation, it is available in the profile page. And I said there is a very much requirement of your bank validation. I have given a website portal. There you can go and click. Give your GST number, give your bank account number, and give your IFSC code number. The system will clearly say yes, your bank account is properly validated. Otherwise, in the profile page also, the bank account validation status is there. If it is a green, then you can start doing your application. Without doing that, please do not file your refund claim. You will be unnecessarily burdened, or you may not be getting your refund because sanction refund will be withheld somewhere. Then you have to run pillar to post to find how to rectify all these errors. So don't do that. I have given enough tips for you to get speed up your refund process, because I am working on this refund claim for more than 5 years, and I think I have taken more than 10 to 50. So I am saying it is more than 50 sessions I have taken on account of refund for the nation and our officers, taxpayers, general public also. So please understand my experience I have shown. So this will be definitely see that your refund claim is processed without much issues at the hands of the officer. So these are the issues. There is a process for the repeating. For the purpose of recapping, you can say file a refund claim, receipt of receive, sanction forward for the provisional, check for the status for the RFD 05, check for the status of RFD 06. If it is, then you can see whether there is a notice is reply for notice, then complete or withholding. Then you can final order you can find issue the payment advice receipt, then recredit the amount also in the portal. You can check up all these things. Withdraw I have already shown. On line 5, this is also repeating. Just sorry. Check for the net. These are these some of the slides are unnecessarily included. So we are coming to the end of the session. These are the important issue aspects. And for your references, whatever I told, these circulars and advisories and all these things are available. You can get the tax information at cbic.gov.india. So each and every time we find a circular, you can go, you can find the circular, you can find the notifications, you find the law, you can also find what is required for the exchange rates for your export invoice. If you are still want to understand what is this analysis of the synopsis of this taxation law, you can go to the ICA and ICM. Both are the recognized institution for the chartered accountant and cost accountant. They are having a tremendous materials for you to understand the legal provision. So my request, you can go to these websites, get hold of all this information required for your refund processing. Thank you very much for this opportunity. Now I will take some questions which is required by you. I will answer. Give me 5 minutes time, so I will take some water. By the time you can also handle, because I am a
Thank you.
patient.
Thank
I
you,
put some sugar
sir.
in that. Sir?
Thank you very much, sir. This was really very elaborate and all-inclusive, exhaustive presentation.
Thank you, sir.
And
Thank you.
I think means seeing the chat box, I didn't find many questions there. In fact, no question till now. So means maybe the people are having all the queries satisfied by way of presentation itself.
Okay, okay.
But if somebody wants to ask something, they can raise their hands from the menu at the bottom of the screen, or they can put their question in the chat box. And, hopefully this means exhaustive session, which covers almost all the intricacies of the GST refund claims and covered all the practicals and legal issues pertaining to GST refund claim, will help our attendees today. So thank you very much, Venkateshwar sir. Just for a minute or two means we can wait if somebody is having some query, and then we will move on with the wrapping up this issue. So as I see that there is no question till now. We are one mail is being shared on the chat box. So if somebody is having any question, they can send their queries there. dgts.mumbai@gmail.com. So now it's as this is the time to wrap up the things, and we missed on one of our trade panel member, Sri Umesh Tayade, due to some sir, two questions we can see that they want to have this PPT in a PDF form, or means sharing this PPT, sir. So means we will see that what part of this can be shared with the members. So please go with the question answer, sir. If we can please have one or two questions. Chat box.
1 minute, I will open the chat box.
So, there are 2-3 questions.
One second, I will go through that, sir. I'm going through from top. Okay, right. 1 second, sir. I'm going through that. Right.
Yeah, this is a practical situational question, sir.
Sir, this only for, what you say, somebody asking, sir, this is only for inverted tax structure rate or zero rate supply. So zero rated supply, so suppose you are having a domestic supply and as well as export supply in which the goods are, you can say, lesser rate and your output is lesser and your input is higher. In that scenario, you are entitled for both the refund. That is, a refund on account of inverted supply is also possible, and you are also sanctioned with the refund on account of the zero rate supply for the unutilized ITC. Or if you paid the IGST on account of these things, there is a payment of tax, that also refund claim can be sanctioned by the customs authority. Because here what happens is the denominator is the changing. Here it is a numerator will be changing, denominator is a constant. That is a all your adjusted turnover. We are giving the proportionate credit on account of the unutilized. So here in the formula also differs from the each and every refund claim. So this particular refund is available if your inverted tax structure and a zero rated are can go hand in hand, because in fact this is also being sanctioned at Coimbatore and elsewhere also. We also clarified, the board also clarified it's possible, both the refunds are possible because situations are different. That is one question with reference to inverted tax structure and zero rate supply, both are possible. Then forwarder who foreign bill advice note instead of no sir, as per the provisions of our legal provisions, as far as legal, that is goods is concerned, it is a BRC, EBRC issued by your DGFT is the source, the document for your acceptance of inward remittances. That is your receipt of the foreign exchange. And in the case of services, it is FIRC is very much required. So other than these documents are not possible to accept as a relevant document for the purpose of sanctioning. Then if you get, these are the two documents, otherwise if you are a software exporter, in the case of FIRC, you can use Softax, which is a recognized document by the your STPAs. That is also possible, sir. And other than these documents, absolutely no document is allowed for the determined or accepting or sanctioning the refund to prove that export proceeds are realized by you. Then, right. So a developer had sold 52 flats 2 years ago and paid 50% as per the slab completion at the time. Now the customer said cancelled the booking and the set asked to refund. The developer has also returned the customer the whole amount as received. Now whether the taxpayer is not eligible to amend the tax invoice and also not eligible for this. See, I told these things, this is particularly these unregistered persons, they told the clarification was issued, this particularly unregistered person refund is entitled for one for the where the developer has or cancelled this booking, already the tax has been paid. The unregistered person has to apply for the refund to the jurisdictional development officer. That is where he has been jurisdictional development officer of the developer is available, he can file, then he can get the refund by uploading the essential documents. In other cases, they say it is on account of the insurance claims. Insurance, there is a reinsurance for part of the year. They will be switched from one insurance to other insurance. There it is not possible for the insurance company to claim the refund because of the inbuilt mechanism for the unjust entitlement. In that scenario also, they can claim refund as an unregistered person. Now, portal also enabled these provisions to sanction the refund for the unregistered person. Mostly these builders, that is the persons purchasing a flat and as well as the insurance sector. You can go through the recent circular issued by the department. Unfortunately, I am not having the circular. Otherwise, I would have been shared immediately. So there is circular issued, then the rules and regulation also framed. So that is possible. So developer need not bother for the file the refund. You can advise your unregistered flat booker to file the refund claim. You can enable him. He will advise him accordingly. I have doubt in refund export with payment, IGST with payment. What is the doubt, sir? You mentioned somebody here, but Lizona, from Lizona to everyone, that I was very, I have doubt on refund with payment of GST, GST with payment. GST with payment is nothing but you are paying the tax in advances. Instead of, in the case of LUT, you are debiting the ITC at the end of at the time of filing, but here you are filing at the time of filing your IGST, you are filing your invoices, you are debiting the amount. That is the most differences and depends upon the marketing condition, rate of taxes, which is beneficial for you. Whether you are more having the capital goods, you are going for, instead of going for LUT route, you can go for the IGST route. These are the strategies required to understand which is benefit for given the situation. So each and every situation has to, if it is I told more is your goods, then you cannot go for the IGST on account of unutilized. So these are the information one should understand whether I can go for IGST payment or I can go for the under unutilized ITC. If the rate of tax on account of your goods are less 5% and you are exporting, your rate is 18%, that is your input is 18%, your output is 5%. It is not viable to go for on payment of IGST because you are going to realize lesser amount on your final product. In that scenario, you can go for the LUT route can be, you can go there, you will be getting the much benefit on account of the taxes paid on export goods. That is also possible. So these are the parameters one should know which type of refund I should apply for. Thank you very much for that question. Time limit, I told it's a 2 year from depending upon each and every situation. I think I have given enough questions. There are so many questions have now started coming. So what is the time limit, sir? Whether we can have or we can close this session. I leave it to the moderator for final say for this thing. If it is too much, we have taken so many time, means we can restrict only very few queries. Please, sir.
Sir, thank you for this quick session of question and answer. If somebody is having any other query, they can send it on the mail, and means whatever we can reply on that particular mail, we will try to do it from this end. Thank you, Venkateshwaran sir.
Thank you, sir.
For your time means given for this good session. And as now we have come to the end of this webinar session, I would like to request Sri Pawan Agarwal, Assistant Director of DGTS Mumbai, to extend the vote of thanks to all present. Sri Pawan Agarwal.
Thank you, Pradeep. Good afternoon, everyone. I am Pawan Agarwal, Assistant Director, DGTS Mumbai Zonal Unit. After the successful webinar on refund claims under GST, it is time for vote of thanks. First of all, on behalf of the Director General of Taxpayer Services Mumbai Zonal Unit, I extend my sincere thanks to our Principal Additional Director General Sri Sanjay Rathi sir for his valuable guidance and support in organizing this webinar. I also take opportunity to thank our trade panelist Sri Sambhaji Pathare, the President of Mahad Manufacturers Association, for sparing his valuable time and attending this webinar. Thank you, sir, for your kind address. My special thanks to our speaker of the day, Sri B. Venkateswaran, for delivering such an insightful and in-depth presentation on the topic. I am sure our taxpayers and other stakeholders must have benefited from the knowledge you shared through this presentation. And lastly, a big thanks to Team DGTS, especially our Additional Director, Sri Arvind Kumar Singh, sir, for taking initiative in organizing this webinar. Now, with the kind permission of our Principal ADG, sir, we would like to bring this session to an end. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, sir.